Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I'm Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about movies, music, and
whatever the hell we find interesting.
Hey!
Moving on.
He got his cue. Alright, so, guys, you can hit us up on Twitter at Echo U Podcasts, where you can send us suggestions, leave comments, all that good shit. Today's episode is going to be about the new movie, which is based on a true story, called Adrift. Alright. I have a lot to say about this movie, but overall, I'm going to give this movie... I was struggling with the grade. Because I think it's a B movie, in my opinion. Because there were parts I think could have been more interesting. But it's also based on a true story. And, you know, if you want to stay true to the story that was written, then, you know, whatevs. This movie depended... To me, you won't like the movie if you don't like the lead. And I thought she did fine. I thought the acting was fine. All I know is it wouldn't have been me. I wouldn't have been out in the sea doing any of this shit. But I thought the characters were fine. I thought the acting was fine. I loved her, like, trying to survive the whole thing. And I'm talking about this movie, but I did not give a quick summary, though. Basically...
Pulling a mic.
I know, I totally forgot that part. But, quick synopsis. We meet this woman called Tammy. She meets a guy called Richard. And they're in love and all that good shit. And then they get an opportunity to get paid $10,000, which this is based in the 80s. So maybe that's a lot in the 80s.
Yeah.
And they get first class tickets back to where they came from. And they got to take a big fancy yacht from Tahiti to San Diego, California. Mm-hmm. And... So this couple, they take this journey, but they get caught in a hurricane, and it goes left. And we basically see how they get to safety, or if they get to safety. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, going back to what I said, I like the best part of the movie is when they're trying to survive. Literally, that's the best part of the movie, and it's the most interesting. And I like the way they did it because they kind of told the movie in flashbacks. Because, like, you know, the movie starts and she's, like, on the boat already.
Right.
And already fucked up.
Past and present type present, you know, yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of switched between the past and present. And I like that aspect of it. And, you know, they had one twist there that caught me.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was pretty good. What do you think of the movie?
Did you get the movie letter grade?
Yes. I said it was a B.
Okay, B. See, I have a hard time struggling to grade movies that are, like, based on real life. Because, like, it's based on real life. It's not something that was, like, you know, produced, you know, in a studio by a bunch of artists or writers or whatever. Like, you know, maybe with some, like, loose, you know, changes here and there. But, like, the core story is still there. And I can't really grade facts. I can really only grade the presentation. And the presentation, all it did make me say, something you guys, before I even get to that, something you guys need to know about me. I have a very irrational fear of open water. I need to see land to be sane. So this movie definitely poked on that fear a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a solid A, only because, like, it evoked that emotion out of me. It made me feel like, because remember when we did 47 meters, when we saw 47 meters down, I kind of thought the same thing. Except this time they're underwater in a cage, surrounded by sharks. Even worse.
Yeah, that movie, like, fucks.
I don't know if that movie was like a true story or something. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but, like, I'd imagine that, you know, someone probably
I thought it was based off of one, but I couldn't.
Maybe it was. Let us know on Twitter or something like that. But listen, I ain't liking it at all. Shanique was in there hoping to get a reaction out of me. I was actively trying not to give her a reaction because I was like, this is exactly what she wants. But I was fine though. Inside, mentally, I'm deteriorating. But, like, I'm fine on the outside. Cause, listen, man, I don't know nothing about boats. One thing I'll give the you know, Tammy, she actually knew her way around the boat solo. But I think for us regular folk who've been on land their whole lives, you know, we ain't really meant to pull that shit off.
Yeah.
So, you know, kudos to her.
Oh, and I do recommend... Now, to me, this is not a must-see in theaters.
Yeah.
But I think you'll have a cool experience if you see it in theaters.
Yeah.
If not, get the DVD. I think the movie is worth seeing. Mm-hmm. I recommend that. You agree?
I would agree with that. Yeah. I have no real problem with that because I think this, the same feeling of suspense you get from seeing in the movie can still be, like, translated into your house or whatever. It's not like a mind-blowing type movie or anything like that, but and it's not even a story that hasn't been told before. But I think for this perspective right here, it's really interesting and it's good to hear, especially considering, like, you know, normally we talk about like I don't know what we call it, character possession, character, basically character growth. A lot of characters in movies, we judge them on by how they're written, as far as like how they progress in the story. This is a real person learning how to really progress on the water. Because like the twist at the end that makes you realize, wow, she's been like, doing a lot more than we're being great, than the movie's been giving her credit for. But that's because of how it was presented, though. But like I said, it's a solid A movie to me.
Okay. So, guys, before we get into it, there will be spoilers. I want you guys to know this. Don't get mad at us if we spoil the movie. I have pre-warned. Spoiler. So, first thing I want to talk about. What did you think of the relationship between Richard and Tammy?
Listen, maybe it's weird because I want to say I'm old school, but I'm like, this is before me, so that's older school. So I'm like, they knew each other for 5 months.
Yeah.
And she already promised to not only marry him, but sail around the world with him. And don't get me wrong. I feel like if I go on water, I don't want to be on a tiny boat. I need to be on a big boat that can like hit something and keep going.
It was a fancy yacht, though.
I don't care. Listen. I need to make sure I can survive that storm. I need to be okay. I need something heavy.
Okay, so your whole... I don't care too much about this relationship because they just went around they sailed and it didn't go well.
Things move too fast. I think if they would wait a couple more months, that storm might not have been there. Hurricane Raymond of 1983. Right. It was a storm that only hit the water. Never made landfall, but like they were outside on the water, thousands of miles.
Okay, I'm gonna give my opinion. I think they moved too quick. Because the way she was taught, I see how she fell in love with him. Because she was a free spirit. Because she talked about in the movie how, which, to me, I'm not even going to do favorite character because she's the only character really in the movie.
Yeah.
Richard's there, and from what we saw of him, he's a good dude. He's a little bit older. He's been around the world. He has more life experience.
More stories, more adventures.
Right. But she was a free spirit. She talked about how she, just took a trip to Mexico after her high school graduation, and then that turned to her traveling around the world for 5 years by herself. And she knew how to survive. She adapted. She showed him things. He showed her things. And I thought it was cute. But I did think 5 months of knowing each other was, too quick to get engaged. But I feel like they were probably supposed to be together because he was like her, but in male form. They wanted to do the same things for the rest of their life. And mind you, like Michael, we not sailing in that small ass boat. Because it was only $10,000 they were promised. You know what? Maybe in 1983 that's a lot. But
I don't doubt it was. You're right. But to be honest, right now it would be a lot for me to tell you that much. But for real.
Not to do that.
Well, not to sail from Tahiti to England or wherever the hell they were going. No,
California.
San Diego. That's right, San Diego.
That was 4,000 miles across open sea.
Over a month.
Yeah, they were supposed to get there in 30 days. She was out there more than 30 days, but we'll get to that.
With a lot less to work with too.
Yeah, and I like the chemistry between the two leads. I thought they were convincing as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But. Also, I didn't think Richard looked like the real Richard because you saw pictures at the end.
They got the beard. They got the facial hair right.
Yeah, they got the facial hair right, the hair right, but facially, he did not look like him.
I was sold.
You on your own on that. I don't think Tammy looked like Tammy, but I think what they did embody the character. It seemed like from what she was saying because they put Tammy's words on the screen at the end. What she said about Richard and what they said about her, it kind of fit. There's also a book. If you want to read the book, there is a book called Adrift, and the movie was based off of this and her story. So, hey, you learned something new. And it is in Barnes & Noble when we saw that today. But I was just like, okay, I just think you're moving a little too quick. You only know this man 5 months, and then you're going to spend a month at open water with him. And then you're going to get engaged. And it's just I think the engagement and that trip to me was too soon in the relationship. you know what? Maybe I can get over the trip because they both like to sail.
Right.
But the engagement to me was too quick. But I thought their love story was cute and everything. But I think it happened too quick. But considering the lives that they lived,
Right,
it made
probably
sense
the only two
why.
people they even know, to be honest. Like, you know, if there are two people who travel the world very often, you're probably not making too many long-term friends.
Yeah.
So I figured, like, you know, if they got that common interest in intact, they're gonna be the only two people they really know. So I guess that's like 5 months of just straight up each other, you know?
Yeah.
Because normal relationships, you know, you get your work, your regular friends, but these are just two people who, like, their only thing is to move from point A to point B for the rest of their lives on water.
Yeah.
So I guess that and to be honest, I agree with Shanique. It was sweet. Heck, there's like one, I think might have been the only like funny joke in the whole movie about when he was talking about Richard talking about his dead mother, and like he proposed to Tammy in the perspective of his mother. So he actually, like, you know, called it out, like, wow, did I just propose to you in the voice of my dead mother? And like he didn't even mean to propose on top of that.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, the relationship is sweet. It made you feel bad later on in the movie too.
Yeah.
But it was sweet.
So, all right, let's talk about the part before the twist, which is based on the whole movie. But
Yeah, about to say, like, that's the whole 2 hours. Okay.
Okay. So, what do you think of? Actually, I do want to talk about the twist because then we can talk about the other stuff. Put some perspective. So the twist itself in the movie, where you found out he's not there. She was hallucinating the whole entire time. And it's, to me, it shows how even strong she was. Because also showed how much she loved this man. That she was like, she remembered everything he taught her. She learned how to fish from this man. She knew about sailing, but he like increased her knowledge by tenfold.
Right, because she was like a cook on a boat before.
Yeah.
But like she never actually like sailed the boat. Like she mentioned a couple of times before that she was not like a sailor. She just liked to be on the water.
Yeah. And this movie, she is a sailor now.
Oh yeah, she got her sea leg. I'll give her that.
In the worst way possible, but she did. And so, when the twist happened, did it shock you? Because it got me.
I mean,
it got me.
It got me too, because I was wondering why she said what she said, because she said, I gotta let you go now. I thought it was meant like something much darker. I thought she meant like, alright, it's okay for you to die.
I thought it was like...
And I was like, why would you just say it's okay for you to die? Like, to put some more perspective on this, Richard, he's been rescued after, the storm catches them. And he's been getting taken care of for about 40 odd days. And like he has like this infected leg, his ribs are broken, he's got scars everywhere, he has like a fever. And she just says, while waking up one day, I think on day 42 or 43 or something like that, it's okay, I gotta let you go now.
It's 41, but
40,
yeah.
41. And I was like, why would you say that? You just, like that's like the ultimate like way for a character to give up. To just say, I'm gonna let you die on this boat while I'm here, I'm gonna die right behind you probably. But then the camera pans up and then we realize.
I know, Michael was like next to me.
I thought he just rolled himself off the boat. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
He had no strength for that. Michael like turned and said, "Oh, he was never there." I'm like, "No, duh." I realized as soon as she said "let you go" and I saw that he was not behind, I was like, "Nigga, you." I
thought he rolled off the boat to make life easier for her. Because remember, they were talking a lot about like how much food they have left and all this, and like I'm being dead weight. I thought he just rolled off the water. I don't know why I didn't hear a splash. I guess that's my one logic failure right there. But I was like, yo, he just went ahead and killed himself and she was okay with it. You gave him permission. But, that's not what happened. Obviously, I'm making up my own narrative at this point. It would have been a lot darker if that happened.
Yo.
But, yeah, I mean, after I figured out the actual twist about, it being a hallucination in her head, I was like, that kind of makes sense, too.
Yeah. And so, so then again, like, for me, the twist worked. Because they made it, based on what you knew about Richard in the past, it seemed like he would say all the things he said. Well, that showed how much she knew him. Mm-hmm. And he was kind of guiding her. And, like, at the end of the movie, she has a quote where she's like, I heard his voice. Mm-hmm. I heard a voice guiding me. So, all the knowledge came through him, but it was really her. And I thought that was really dope. And when she realized, yo, I gotta do this on my own. I'm gonna die if I don't. Mm-hmm. And she handled business. She did fish. She was a vegetarian. She's like,
fixing the ship.
Yep, she fixed the ship. She did everything. She started fixing the ship even in the beginning of the movie, but she like really like put into motion that. And she got out of there, and I respect the hell out of her, because knowing it was me, I'd be dead.
Shanique wanted to emphasize that part. Shanique was like, listen, had it been me on week number 1, if I ain't rescued yet, I'm done.
Hell yeah. She was out there for a month and a half. About a month. No, I'm sorry.
A month and a week almost.
A month and a week, yeah. It looked like that. A little more than that. But hey, she was out there over a month by herself with little amount of food. I mean, she's a girl, so obvious things were happening. But it's just like, oh, man, I would have died probably after 2 weeks.
I mean, my thing is, if I knew about boats, I might stand a chance. My knowledge right now won't carry me through day number 2. I'm going to fall asleep once, eat all the food at once, and I'm going to wonder where all the food went.
Okay, I wouldn't eat all the food at once. I would know not to do that.
See, but I wouldn't even know how to, like, fix the sail, how to navigate, because she knew how to, like, tell her, knew where she was on the water, knew her speed, her direction. She knew how to fix the boat, unpump the water. And I was like, I don't know how to do none of this. I'm not nautical at all. I barely know how to be on land, much less water. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, okay. So, what was your favorite scene of her trying to survive? What's your favorite survival scene?
There was kind of two, and they kind of tie into each other, because she's a vegetarian, and Richard, or like, her hallucination on Richard, they're telling her, hey,
Richard.
you gotta, go fish, like, you gotta do it if you're gonna survive, because you're gonna run out of food eventually. It's not gonna carry you for much longer, yada yada yada. And like, they have like a little the old school harpoons that work on like a little spring system or like a rubber system, whichever one it is. And like, she has to like go learn how to fish. I thought that was bigger her too, because she did end up eating fish, even the canned sardines, even though she's a vegetarian. Because I'm like, all right, now you're actually, yeah, right. Cause now you're making that decision to, like, you got to put your ideals to the side to make sure you can survive to the next day. Because she started talking about, like, I'm not going to eat anything that suffers. I'm like, I'm eating everything if it means I can see the sunrise tomorrow. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to put my other favorite scene here, because I thought this was like this. If it had been me, it would have just been fucked up. Because she's on the boat, and she, like, hears another boat that's not real. She's like, hallucinating within her own hallucination. Yeah. It's like double inception hallucination kind of thing going on right now.
Yep.
And, like, it's a big, like, cargo ship that she's seeing, and, like, firing off flares. And, like, the cargo ship doesn't stop. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is the most ignorant cargo ship I've ever seen in my life. Like, nobody's awake. Y'all just got the whole ship on autopilot. Because I'm pretty sure even no matter where you're going on the water,
someone has to be awake.
Yes, someone has to be awake to make sure we're not hitting any icebergs, a la Titanic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the one growth scene and the one messed up scene with the hallucinations, especially after she realizes it, she's like, all right, it's getting bad. Like, I'm pretty sure deep down she knew she was hallucinating about Richard the whole time already, obviously.
Yeah.
Considering what she said later on in the movie. But then the fact that she's hallucinating inside of her own hallucination, that must have been something rough to deal with.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you're just like, all right, now I really don't know what's real.
Yeah. And
not one shark sighting in this whole movie, thank God.
I'm not sure what area she was. Sharks go there.
I mean, she was in the Pacific. I'm pretty sure there's sharks in the Pacific.
But not all of the Pacific.
I mean, it's a couple thousand miles that she traveled. I'm pretty sure that they exist somewhere in there. Especially because one part earlier too, when she had like a rope in her hand, but like it swung out of her hand, she started bleeding. I thought that's where the movie was going. Because I was like, last movie I saw that had to do with sharks, I don't know. Because that one gave me anxiety out the ass. Only because they were making bad decisions. Whatever Shanique might say that, it helped get the other girl, to
Let's be honest. I'm going to give you the rundown. In 47 meters. Down. Claire Holt, who played the blonde girl, if it wasn't for her, her friend would be dead. Okay?
Yeah, but now she's dead.
Well, hey, you know what? That was the shark's fault.
What the fuck is this?
So now I'm moving back. But she made the sacrifices that no one else could. Thank you, Kate. Moving on. Moving back to Adrift here. My favorite survival scenes are beginning when she fixed the boat. I thought it was cool when she took the duct tape. Even though she almost gave me a heart attack when she got caught underneath the thing the sail for the thing. I was like, nigga, why you underneath there? I need you to calm down and just swim like a little bit to the left. You'll be alright. Like, calm the hell down. What else? The one where she was trying to figure out whether to go to San Diego or go to Hawaii for survival, and she like did the calculations and all that stuff. I thought that was so cool because I would have been like north.
After they calculated that risk too is where I started getting a little suspenseful as well. Because I was like, they did say if we even barely go off course and miss Hawaii, this wind is just going to keep sending us out into the ocean. Like, the next thing we can hit is Japan. And we ain't going to have enough resources to make it that far.
Yeah.
Granted, we might cross some, like, shipping lanes or whatever. But you don't want to roll those dice when, like, you're really just depending on the breeze to move the ship right now. Like, the ship is pretty much on bare legs. It's just a bunch of wood at that point.
Yeah. There was, like, no power to the ship. And it was just
drifting. Barely no clean water. Right.
It was drifting for, like, 40 days. And I was like, bruh. But, yeah, I thought that was, like... Right then, I was like, yo, you got this. You want to make it. I figured she would. I thought Richard was going to die, and he was dead the whole time. And then also, one of my favorite scenes, it's not really a survival scene, but it's a scene where you see them in the storm. That whole sequence fucked me up. I was like, niggas, they didn't have they didn't have a chance, because back then, they didn't have a lot of hurricane stuff to detect it early. So... Once they were out there, they were kind of out there. They were like, they tried to sail away to get away from the eye of the storm. They did that, but then it was still too strong. So then he was trying to slip under it, but he got knocked off. And then Richard went out bad, man. He did not went out okay.
Yeah.
He went underwater and then... fucked his head up, and I was like, damn.
And the crazy part about that scene too, if you realize, the whole boat was underwater. It's like floating back to the top because, you know, it's a boat, so they have like flotation systems and shit, or like some kind of like buoyancy going on with it. But like, you see the boat after Richard gets hit in the head by one of the I don't know what you call it, but like pretty much like a pole that holds the sail up. He gets hit, and you see the boat in the background floating up, and you know what's the name, Tammy's in there, because he told her to go under the into the boat pretty much to be safe. Because he saw this big ass fuck you wave coming right towards them. And I was like, this is some interstellar bullshit. Granted, Interstellar was a lot worse than that one, but still. It was like that. Cause you saw pretty much a wall coming toward you, ready to end your life.
Yep.
And
she got fucked up in that boat. Like, when they showed that, I was like, damn, explain why your head was all jacked up. Also, another scene I thought was good.
Stitching.
The stitching, yeah. It made me squint.
Any movie that involves like self-stitching on like raw ass wounds, yo.
With like things that are not supposed to be used to stitch, I'm like, oh.
Like, y'all ain't sterilized that, did you? But
we don't got fucking time.
You know what? Hey, right? She did her job. Like, she got back to safety because she had to improvise for real. So
Tammy's the truth, okay? She is a badass person.
She got bigger balls than me. I'll give her that. I
would have been out so quick. It was like fucking crazy how much she did to survive these 40 days.
And 40 days, like, when I put that in perspective, I think about how long is 40 days? And I think about, where was I 40 days ago? I'm like, god damn, that was a long fucking time ago. Now imagine if I'm just on water the whole time.
Just drifting.
I'm just drifting and crossing my fingers. I would lose my shit. And my significant other just died. I'm on a boat by myself. For whatever reason, I'm meditating naked. And I don't know. I guess back in the 80s, no one wore a bra. Because I was like, Tammy just did not wear a bra that whole movie. But I
think she had a bra. But at that point, if you
No. Even before that. Even when she was working in flirting around and dating what's his name, Richard, on the water. On land.
She wore bikinis a lot.
I mean, yeah, that I'm talking about outside of the bikinis, like on regular ass clothes. Like she just wore shirts. But anyways, it's not a big deal. No need to make this a thing of the podcast right now for real. But I was just saying, outside of that, when I think about what 40 days is, I'm just like, how many weeks is 40 days? Sometimes it's almost 6 weeks. It's 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And I'm just thinking to myself, Michael, you would have tried and you would have failed.
I wouldn't have been there.
My willpower would have gone after I got hungry one time. I was like, yep, down to hunger. I'm just going wherever this boat goes, it just goes there. If I hit another storm, son, I'd have just jumped in the water.
Yeah.
I would like
she
fuck
hit
that.
another one too.
Well, it wasn't as big as the one that she found though.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
After no.
She's like, I heard one thunderclap, it's over.
Hell yeah! Because like, here's the thing. Like, the first storm killed my man, my fiance, and then you think after drifting for like 20 days, I want another one? No. We don't got time for that. She better than me. Not one, I wouldn't be there. But two, let's say I met a man and I was like, oh, let's sail, blah, blah. I'd be dead, bro. I would definitely, if I was going to do a trip like that, I would do like her. I would have learned. I definitely would not have went on there only having my partner know, because look what happened to her.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm saying maybe it might even be easier now because, technology makes sure that you have like a location out in the, the water or whatever. But to me, that don't make a fucking difference because I'm just like, I gotta see land. I gotta know where to go. Because toward the end, when she starts seeing like, signs of like life, because earlier, like, they had this whole thing with a bird, and she sees like another bird that comes to the ship, and I'm thinking to myself, yay, that means, it's that the bird came from land. So like she starts to realize, holy shit, I must be close to somewhere. And then lo and behold, she gets her binoculars out and looks over the horizon. She sees a bunch of mountains and shit. Do you know how hard I would have shit myself if I finally saw land? I would have, I wouldn't have made it to land. I'd have been so happy my heart exploded. Cause like, and I'm so glad too that when she fired off the flares that the boat actually turned around. I'm like, if this fucking boat is another hallucination, I'm making sure heads roll before I leave this theater, yo. But yeah, it was a real boat. I started hitting the horn, and they had the nerve to ask, "Are you okay?" Like, nigga, do I look okay? I'm half naked and bleeding.
I know, like she looked a hot damn mess, but I didn't expect her to look good. That was very realistic.
Oh yeah.
She was on the boat for 40 days with barely any food, bleeding and fucked up. Hell yeah. Like, but word, no. No. That was a dumb question. Her boat looked jacked up too.
I was exactly about to say too, like if you look at the boat is literally falling apart and barely surviving, barely floating. And you gonna have the nerve to ask me?
You know what I also thought was kind of cool, like, not cool, like funny, was her reaction when she bit the apple. She's like, oh, apples. I was like, yo, you know how like starving you have to be that an apple tastes that good? Right,
like human, actual, like, oh god, I don't know, man. I might never know. I don't ever want to know how that feels to be like so relieved that an apple is like saving my life at that moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, first of all, I'm disrespected. Y'all just lowered me some food instead of bringing me on your boat. Like, I need a shower.
Well, I think they were gonna pull her boat back.
I mean,
maybe she didn't want to leave the boat.
Maybe we talking about Tammy here. I'm thinking about it from Michael's perspective. Because Michael is like, fuck this fucking boat. Like,
yo, he gave me just the illest side eye right now when I said that, and I'm like, maybe she didn't want to leave.
Dog.
Maybe she just like give me the food and pull my boat back to shore. And not even her boat. She probably didn't even get paid for that.
Boy.
She probably didn't even get paid the $10,000. But I hope she went home to see her mom.
Oh yeah, she didn't. Yep, that's true.
And I hope and then she went back to the place, and now she owns his boat, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, she done refurbished and everything, and she's apparently like still sailing around the world and shit. And,
I looked at Michael's like, bruh, I'm never getting on a boat like that and doing trips like that again.
I'd have been like, I'm retired. I'm done.
I'll do a small trip, but I'm never doing that far ever again. I would be like, nah, bro. I almost died.
I'll do lakes. I ain't doing no oceans and seas. I'll do a lake.
Yeah, that was a little much. But you know what? She's Tammy, and she is a survivor, and I respect her completely, because it wouldn't be me.
Oh, yeah. See, stuff like this, too, that makes me want to, like, learn how to, like,
I do want to learn how to swim, but I'm low-key afraid to learn how to swim.
Why?
I don't know. I have issues. I don't know.
I mean, hey, you already know my issue. I don't like not seeing land, so.
I still want to learn because I can float, but I actually want to learn how to swim. One day I'll learn.
I mean, we got a long way to go if we're gonna learn what Tammy knows, because Tammy's apparently like god level when it comes to surviving on water.
Yeah, she hey, bravo to Tammy. But yeah, anyway, at the end we learned it was a true story. You saw pictures of her and Richard. I felt so bad for her losing him like that.
Mm-hmm. Especially the way they showed it too. Like he literally just like got thrown off the boat into the water, then got hit by the pole. And I was like, "Ee."
I don't know. Did they find the body? Because how did they know?
I highly doubt they found the body.
Yeah.
Because like if you're in the middle of the Pacific, no.
Yeah.
No. That and they're not gonna actually go out searching for the body unless like it just washes up somewhere. Which I ain't gonna about to talk. I'm just go ahead and respect it, but respect Mr. Richard.
I think
here.
they took some dramatic license actually showing his death because they don't know.
Yeah.
They know that he probably got swept over because she probably saw it.
Yeah, and probably told them what's going on. Right.
Well, she saw the part where he swept over, but she don't know if he hit something on the way down or something.
Yeah.
Because he could have like drowned.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, the movie was, I actually might change my grade. B plus.
Okay.
It was I never was bored the entire movie. I was curious whether she was going to survive or not because I didn't know it was a book. And even if it was a book, you can still tell the story even though they die.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely enjoyed the movie. Let us know what you guys think of the movie. As me and Michael both said, definitely worth seeing. I don't regret seeing it. It is not trash. It's better than what the previews made it look like, in my opinion.
I agree. Actually, this is one of them instances where like
the previews didn't do it.
The end result was a lot better than the the build up.
Yeah,
so.
the overall journey and her survival and everything she did, everything made sense. I never once was like, "Why the fuck are you doing that?" I'm like, "Oh, I get why you're doing that, but that's so dangerous." Like she was such a smart.
I never thought she made any. I mean, other than sailing around the world. I never thought she made any bad decisions during the whole thing.
I think she just got unlucky.
Right.
And that's what I like. I never felt like, oh, you're a dumbass. So I definitely.
I'm like 47 meters down.
I never felt like he's on his own.
Hey, listen.
Because if she didn't do what she did, they would have lost air sooner and died anyway. At least one survived because of her. We're not getting into this. Kate was the shit. Anyway, moving back. Mandy Moore wouldn't survive without Kate.
Kate was the reason they were out there in the first place, so...
Yeah, and that's why she stepped to the plate and handle business. Because guess what? If Mandy Moore, let's say, was, like, smart enough to go down in that cage alone, right? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't she have died automatically?
Yeah, probably Kate would have died, too.
Kate knew how... First of all, to be honest, if I'm going to be really honest, I feel like her friend low-key slowed her down. Low-key. Because she spent a lot of movies saying, it's okay, come, breathe. There was a lot of her in the movie. And she would have moved a lot faster without her friend. But it doesn't matter. Kate's the truth. She the real hero.
I called 2 seconds ago. She said, we not going to get into this. Immediately gets into this.
Because he hating on my girl right now. But it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, Tammy, Kate, y'all awesome. Fuck what Michael says.
Tammy, you the real deal. I'll leave it right there.
Only because there's no sharks. And then Michael will be like, nigga, why you outside the boat?
Hell yeah! You better get back on that fucking boat! What? You better stop your playing.
Alright. But definitely recommend this movie. B+ for me, A for Michael. And do you have any other comments or can I close it up?
Nope, go ahead, girl.
Alright, so hit us up on Twitter at EchoU Podcast. You can find us on any social media sites. Not any, but like most. YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, SoundCloud, all under Echo Underground Podcast. We're also, if you're a phone user and you like to listen while you're like at the gym or on your way to work, you can find us on many podcasting apps. I think probably all of them, to be honest. Under Echo Underground Podcast. And we'll see you guys the next episode. Bye.
See ya.